Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Gina from orchidandopal.com. I'm back with some finished jewelry pieces this month. I wanted to share some of the things that I came up with and shared on previous tutorials, a few recent things I put together and listed on my site. I used to do these updates all the time, so I do have a pretty giant playlist of previous ones with lots of inspiration if you want to check that out. But my hope with this video is maybe something you see here will inspire you in your own creative pursuits. I know a lot of us get the bargain bead box and some of us get the Eureka Crystal Beads collections. You may already have a lot of beads in your stash and you may be looking for some new projects to dig into. I know I love seeing what everyone else makes, especially with similar materials. We all come up with different things. So I hope you'll find something here today that you like. But first, what I have is a set that I made from, I think it was the December bargain bead box. They sent the Labradorite, the lapis lazuli beads. There's antique copper findings. It was a really gorgeous palette. And by the way, if you aren't sure what I'm referring to with these different boxes, I will have them linked right down below the video so you can check them out. The bargain bead box is, I think, $22.99 a month right now with free shipping in the US. Totally worth it. You get a lot of gemstone beads, findings, and other items that coordinate together, and you can come up with multiple pieces, usually from just one box. And so that's what this set came from initially. And just look at this Labradorite pendant. I want you to check this out. Oh my goodness, look at that blue flash. Isn't that gorgeous? Just love that stone. So it's kind of subtle when you just look at it face on, but in the right light, it just shines away. So this is a 2-strander. I just changed up the pattern of the beads a little bit. I had more Labradorite rounds to work with, so I did those going mostly up the back of the piece. Really wanted to let this pear-shaped pendant shine. And this round component is actually from a toggle clasp. It's not something that was a standalone connector. So just another reminder to get creative with those toggle clasps because there's so many things you can do with them. I also have a video from a little while back, and that was the entire purpose of the video, to give you some examples and ideas of how you can use toggle clasps in all different sorts of ways other than a clasp. Wanted you to see a closer look at the earrings because especially those teardrop stones at the bottom, they're just so gorgeous. I love those. And they bring out just a little hint of that gray that coordinates really well with the Labradorite. So those are on coordinating antique copper findings as well. Also brought in a couple of those round lapis stones, which are the same ones that you see in the necklace. And here you can see the full picture of this 2-strand necklace, and it just ends back there with some smaller faceted Labradorite rounds. And I did add an extender chain back here for the option to add a little extra length. So this set is available now currently on my site, orchidandopal.com. Just scroll down a little bit past the blog post and you'll see some of the newest listings. And there you'll also find the next set that I'm about to show you. All right, so set number 2 also contains some antique copper, but this time this 2-strand necklace includes some more pink. It's got some beautiful, smoothed out but faceted Rodnite beads in different shades of light and medium, warm and dusty pink. We have the rhodochrosite with the addition of the black and darker brown, some great contrast in there. Also, I think it pulls out some of the antique copper nicely. And also some of the matte, frosty, very light pink rose quartz. I think it lightens up some of the deeper shades going on in the necklace. And you can see how I kind of switched up my use of the different types of beads, balancing the softer pink quartz, for example, there in the center of this strand, while this one has some of those deeper, darker shades going on. Then, of course, the addition of the Rodnite pendant, which brings it all together. And in between, you can find some Japanese seed beads of various sizes and some of the black faceted onyx beads. These materials primarily came from last month's or January's bargain bead box. So if you're a subscriber of theirs, you may have some of these beads in your stash as well. And here's a look at those coordinating earrings. Aren't these stones at the bottom so gorgeous? Those smooth ovals just ties the entire palette all together. So that's another set that's available on my website right now. And next, I just want to show you some of the recent bead weaving projects that you may have seen featured on my channel. There's tutorials to go along with all of those, some of which I will try to link in the corner. And some of these pieces also may be available for sale in my shop, so just check that out. I want to start out with these easier seed bead and crystal rondelle bracelets. The inspiration for this one actually came from the bargain bead box as well. January's, we had a strand of these really cool mixed color crystals. So I just started separating the colors a little bit. These were the four that I had the most of. You can see I just used the different colors in a way to make this pattern more interesting and included some 11O seed beads in sort of a rose gold or sweet blush tone. And what I like is the double layer of seed beads. As you can see, it makes the entire bracelet more sturdy, and I think it holds up to the size of these particular rondelles. But if you're looking for a slightly easier bead weaving project, and I know a lot of us have seed beads and rondelles, check out this tutorial. And I also show you how to end the bracelet there, just like that, with your seed beads to attach a toggle clasp. Looking through my stash, I had a few more rondelles in that 6x8mm size. And when I come up with tutorials and designs, I like to try to do them in different colors. It can be surprising how that can change the look of a piece. I like how the combination of that light and airy blue balances with that more vibrant mustard yellow. That tan is more neutral, kind of brings that all together. And also, this is an example of this bracelet done in 3 colors versus 4 colors, as you see in that original one. All right, so here next I have the Operetta bracelet, and this is one of the tutorials I had a couple months ago, the inspiration for which came from the Belle Epoque Beadway box by Eureka Crystal Beads. That is their line of smaller inspirational collection boxes. They usually have about 5 tubes of glass beads, including seed beads and some multi-hole shapes. This one included 2 different colors of the crescents, which I just thought was so unique in the cream color and that light sapphire blue. Also, those gem duos in that antique gold and 11O and 15O seed beads. So this was actually one of the colorways that they offer, and you can actually make one of these entire bracelets just from one of those beadway boxes. I also show you how to make a little loop enclosure and a really unique clasp that hooks into that loop, so you don't have to add any additional clasp to this piece at all. And depending on the colors you use, you can even make this really masculine. I think my husband even really liked this one. I was thinking some matte black and different shades of gray, antique silver, browns, and other metallics could look really nice in this type of pattern too. These are just 3 other colorway examples. I pulled beads from my stash. Maybe that gives you an example of what other colors might look like in the same type of design. So just look for the Operetta bracelet that is a few tutorials back. All right, now we have the one called Maritime Opulence. And this was a fun project that I put together just for Eureka Crystal Beads especially. They asked me if I'd like to curate my own version of their beadway box. And of course, I love doing that. I pulled together 5 different types of beads for that one. And there's 3 different colorways available. These are the 3 examples of those colorways. I'll link those beadway boxes down at the bottom, but once again, you'll have everything you need to make one of these bracelets, and I do have a tutorial for coordinating earrings to go along with these. So there's actually 2 projects in one. These bracelets including the 2-hole bar beads, the drop duos, there's some Toho demi rounds, and 11O and 15O seed beads. The earring tutorial you can actually find over on Eureka's YouTube channel. I actually did a friendly channel takeover last month, and so my video popped up over there. The bracelet tutorial, however, which incorporates very similar links as the earrings, just a little bit smaller, that you can find on my channel in the tutorial section. Something else I like about this design is it makes for a really elegant beaded chain like this, which could also be used in a necklace. And alternately, one of these components could even make a really cool pendant necklace. All right, guys, next I want to show you the Vintage Dreams crystal earrings. These came from the Vintage Dreams collections at Eureka. This color palette gives me some kind of like island vacation vibes. And in the tutorial video, you'll find out how to bezel these 12mm round Rivoli crystals using some pretty common materials such as the 11O and 15O seed beads, delicas, 3mm fire polish beads. And then you can just pop on a couple of earring findings of your choosing, and you can either make them really vibrant and bright like this pair here, or you can tone them down and make them more muted, like this light gold, cream, and yellow color scheme, which is also really gorgeous, more monochromatic and classic, like the little iridescence on those 3mm fire polish beads. It's really subtle. So again, you can just look for this tutorial for the Vintage Dreams earrings. My final couple of projects come from Eureka's February collection called Berry Frost, and that one totally changed up the color palette. We had some snowy whites, berry reds, and icy blues in that palette, combined with a little bit of antique bronze and those seed beads. And in the Berry Frost bracelet tutorial, I show you how to create these different components and then pull them all together to make a really unique bracelet with the 3 strands in between each of those components, bringing everything together. I really love those light sapphire delight crystal stones, especially. They're so gorgeous. I was drawn to them immediately in the collection. And if you look up close, you can see the use of the super duos, 8O, 11O, 15O seed beads, some little 3mm crystal bicones with the AB coating. We've got some little 2mm rounds there in that pop of red. And there's a look at the back, kind of reminds me of a snowflake pattern at the bottom of those components. Final thing I want to mention about this bracelet is in that collection, they included some of these really special sew-in components by symbol. Aren't those gorgeous? I just love how that finishes up the sides of the bracelet, especially when you're working with some of those more fancy crystals and stones. Those details can really matter and add an extra level of delicate beauty and a seamless finish. All right, final project inspired by the Berry Frost collection are these really simple but elegant square stitch seed bead pear-shaped drop earrings. Look at those fiery red 14 by 10mm crystals and how they're set off by that really clean, neat, and tidy stitching of the square stitch. I like that stacked, layered bezel look and the use of 15 O's just to bring that in and really frame out that teardrop in the smaller size and whatever earring findings you choose. But I have a tutorial. It's the last one that I posted. It was last week for the instruction on how to do a simple square stitch bezel just like this. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, check out that video. It's a great springboard for all sorts of other projects. All right, everyone. So that is all for me today. I just want to thank you so much for being here. It really means a lot to me to be a part of your day for a few minutes and to know that I can inspire your creativity. I love hearing what you're up to, so definitely feel free to leave me a comment down below. Also, let me know if you have a favorite item I've shared here or anything else you'd like to say. And thank you for continuing to inspire me. It's exciting to come up with new content. I have another fun collaboration to share next month, so I hope you'll stick around with me and check that out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and go ahead and share it with your other beading friends, wherever that may be. Until next time, I want to wish you guys all the best. I hope you keep your creative flow going. Stay inspired even by the little things. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and weekend ahead. And as always, happy beading.